Recently, I've been watching Studio Gek's react to Attack on Titan, and seeing how hype they get in certain scenes has reminded me why it is my favourite anime. Given its ranking as IMDb's 28th highest rated show of all time, it seems I am not alone in this opinion. As it so happens, Attack on Titan was my first anime I ever watched, and with the fast approaching March release of the Attack on Titan finale, I thought now would be a perfect time to tell you why it's not only one of the best animes ever produced, but also a great entry point for new anime fans. I'll make sure to avoid some major spoilers going into this, but I will be broadly talking about some settings and some character dynamics. So, if you want to go into the show completely blind, please take my word for it. It's great. Go and watch it. If you still need some convincing, however, here's my top 5 reasons why you should watch Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan escapes many of the tropes that anime fans tend to hate. And if they do use those tropes, they tend to use them in a way that just enhances the viewing experience. In many other animes I've watched, the creators would tend to over-sexualize their characters. For most of the time, no other reason than sex sells, which I'm not saying it doesn't, but Attack on Titan doesn't even make people interested in the show by showing off busty characters or putting mini-skirts on their military uniforms, like I'm sure a lot of other creators would have done to take the easy way. The first season actually received backlash because the animators put lipstick on some of their female characters, which doesn't exist in the manga. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the setting either. Soldiers ready for battle in a dystopian world? I've heard that a lot of people get annoyed at shonen anime when their main characters are continuously having an internal debate about what they're thinking, what they're going to do next, and how they're going to get their next power up. In Attack on Titan, internal dialogue is still used, but in my opinion it's used the right way, as it's only used in critical moments when you have to think fast about what you're going to do next, as you might get blown to smithereens by cannon fire. Another shonen anime trope is when characters use over-the-top screaming to try to receive a power-up or hype themselves into a battle. Again, this is used in Attack on Titan, but just like the internal debates, it's used in the right way. It's only used in situations, for example, like when your mother is about to be eaten right in front of your eyes. The final trope I would like to talk about, although I'm sure there are many more, is randomly placed humour. Attack on Titan has 2 characters that I consider to be comic relief characters, Sasha Browse and Connie Springer. These 2 characters, although I do find them to be comic relief from time to time, both are taken seriously and have their own story arcs going through the show. But it doesn't overdo it, and when it is used, it's done well and it's done to its advantage. The animation. Attack on Titan is a visual masterpiece. Every shot, every character, every building, every moment in Attack on Titan is carefully crafted to the highest degree. The anime just has a perfect dark tone to it that reflects the grim reality of the world the characters are forced to live in. The scenery is unique to itself, and anybody who knows the show will be able to recognize a shot of Attack on Titan compared to other animes without a main character or obvious symbolism in it. Attack on Titan has a lot of battle scenes, and the animators have nailed every single one of them. And I don't think I could think of a single scene or shot in the whole 4 seasons that I don't like. For anyone who doesn't know, Attack on Titan changed animation studios from WIT Studios from seasons 1 to 3 to MAPPA in season 4. Both studios have done an amazing job animating the show, and both look just as good as each other. One of the best things I see anime capture as a whole is world building, and Attack on Titan is one of those shows that do world building perfectly. Attack on Titan is set in a post-apocalyptic world where giant humanoid naked creatures are continuously attacking humanity, and somehow they still sell the show in a realistic world where some people struggle to survive and some people thrive on the poor. The first thing that actually attracted me to watch Attack on Titan was the world the characters inhabited. As it drew so much interest and curiosity to me, I just had to watch a couple of episodes to find out what it was all about. The show also continues to slowly unravel mysteries, and it makes you ask more questions on what else there could be inside the walls. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm a character in Attack on Titan, and I'm learning about the land they inhabit with the rest of the people who inhabit it. I find real world politics to be somewhat boring, but Attack on Titan even makes politics interesting, and that is saying a lot. Everything that is set up in Attack on Titan at one point or another will have some sort of payoff, whether it be big or small. It honestly surprises me that they made a 4-season show feel so massive. In the amazing world of Attack on Titan, there is only so much that could top the world building. However, I would say the characters are even better. Attack on Titan offers some of the most interesting and vibrant characters ever created. There is a character hierarchy to the show, like most others, where it starts with your main characters, then to your supporting characters, then to your extras or side characters. You would be completely wrong to think the characters are prioritized to the hierarchy, or that minor characters can't have as big of an involvement as the main characters. Because in this story, even the extras, side characters, or supporting characters can be just as important as the main characters. Characters who start as nothing in this show could end up being some of the biggest game changers by the end of it. Throughout the show's progression, you meet a whole lot of characters that you learn to love in one way or another. Even characters that are introduced to the show to be hated end up having a soft spot in my heart in one way or another. Attack on Titan doesn't add any character just for the sake of it. Every character has a meaning and a purpose. Every character has their own inner thoughts and secrets. Every character has their own choices to be made. On top of all that, Attack on Titan is not afraid to sacrifice their characters for the sake of the plot. In this cruel world, death has a real meaning to it. No one is exempt from death, and that just makes the show all the more interesting and harder to predict. It has been so hard not to talk about this yet, but Attack on Titan has some of the best storytelling ever written, and it is worth watching on that alone. Attack on Titan on the surface is just a typical man vs monster show, but it turns out to be so much more. This show rewards you for paying close attention to detail. It foreshadows everything, and even with me telling you this, the first time you watch it, you won't be able to predict it. Currently, I love watching Carter and Cannon from Studio Gek trying to predict where the show's going to go, as they are both very knowledgeable on movies and TV and how they can foreshadow information. They have come out with so many theories. Some have ended up coming correct, and some of them have just made me laugh. But that's being somebody who's watched the entire show, of course. I really wish I could speak more about the plot of this show, but I really don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't watched it. So if you haven't watched it, please do. And if you have watched Attack on Titan, just go and watch it again. I think the show gets better when you watch it a second or a third time, as you pick up on stuff that you never saw the first, or maybe even the second time you've watched it. Attack on Titan truly is a masterpiece in my eyes, and this has only been 5 reasons to watch it. There are so many more. Thanks to the boys over at Studio Gek for allowing me to use their footage. If you haven't yet, go and check them out, let them know I sent you, as they have some great reactions to my favourite anime.